Welcome to the Drone MBA podcast, where we propel your drone career or business to new heights, discussing strategies, insights, and tips to navigate the skies of drone careers and entrepreneurship. Let's take flight into the business of drones. Welcome back to the Drone MBA podcast. My name is Dr. Heather Monthi. I am your host for this podcast. Today's episode is a snip from the drone business plan workshop that I just conducted. We go over 5 different strategies on how to create your business plan for your drone business. In the Dronepreneur Academy is where I have the templates and where I go through the templates and explain how to fill everything in. But in this podcast episode, it's part of the workshop where I go over some different strategies for creating your drone business plan. This is great for those of you who are thinking about starting a drone business. You're thinking about expanding your existing drone business. And it's not necessarily for those who just want to get a business loan or bring on investors. It's certainly good for that. It's certainly necessary for that. But it's also good for those of you that are self-funding or bootstrapping your drone business to help you think through your process, your day-to-day logistics, your financials, your marketing plan, etc., to make sure that your drone business makes good financial sense. Let's get into this episode where I discuss 5 key strategies to help you develop your drone business plan. We have a great topic today that I think is going to be useful to any of you who are thinking about starting a drone business. Maybe you have already started a drone business and you want to take it to the next level. And that is putting together your business plan. In this workshop for today, what we're going to do is talk about what are some strategies to put together your business plan. And then I actually have created a template for you to use, and then that you can fill in and start gathering all the information for your business plan. And then also a Canva template to make it look nice and pretty. And Canva's got a lot of really great templates. Let's talk about 5 key strategies to writing your winning business plan for your drone business. Now, some people will tell you you don't need a business plan to get started with your drone business. You absolutely don't. You need customers, you need a way to accept payments, and you need a way to solve a customer's problem. That's what you need for a business. Okay. Now, a business plan is really something that can help you provide some clarity and some direction around your drone business. This is really going to help you get your thoughts clear, get things written out on a piece of paper so that you know where you're going with your business, and help you to provide some direction as you're starting to make decisions for your business. Now, a business plan is definitely going to be needed if you are working to get investors. If you're trying to convince other people to invest their money into your business, a business plan is definitely going to be needed. But sometimes that investor might be yourself. That investor might be your family, your spouse. You have to get your spouse on board with you wanting to start up this drone business. The business plan will really help you determine if your business is a viable business in the market and where you live. So, oftentimes, many of you are providing your own services, probably not going to be doing a whole lot over the internet where you've got clients on the other side of the world. Some of you might be developing software, you might be developing some sort of service that can be delivered remotely. But for the most part, those of you that are actually flying a drone as part of your business, it's probably going to be more of a localized geographic area. And so what you want to do is make sure that you understand your market, understand the demand, and understand the customers in your market. That business plan is really going to help you identify some of those areas in your business that might be a good opportunity and might be something that may be better off putting off into the future, into future years. It also gives you some way to identify benchmarks that in your business, and then measuring progress against those benchmarks. So if you say you want to service 1,000 people, you want to service 1,000 customers, you can really start tracking your progress towards that particular goal. The business plan will really help you identify what those goals are, some of those shorter term goals and even some of those longer term goals. And then you can start measuring progress against those goals. So even if it's just you're a photographer and you're doing real estate photography. If you want to scale up to a certain number of customers served or certain dollars in revenue, you want to make sure that you've got that plan thought out and how that's actually going, how you're going to do that. So the business plan will help you do that. And it will also help you to identify any risks that you might have with regards to your business and help you manage that risk. But it's also going to help you adapt to market changes. So it's very difficult to put together a 10-year business plan for a business that is in an emerging technology. We don't know where the technology is going to go. We don't necessarily know always where regulations are going to go. So it's this document becomes a dynamic document. It's providing some guidance as you're making decisions about the future of your business. You can always come back to it and go, okay, what was the original goal for my business? Does that no longer serve my customers, or do I need to adapt to market changes in the drone industry? So the business plan is really beyond getting people to invest money into your company. Oftentimes it can be yourself thinking through the process and thinking to yourself, should I put my own money into this? Is this something that is going to be a valuable investment for me to spend my time and my money on? And then again, like I said, some of you have to get your spouse's buy-in on some of this. So this is a great way to think about that too. The first step in putting together your business plan, and I do have a template for you in the Dronepreneur Academy that's got all of these things laid out for you. And I will go over that a little bit later on. If you're in the Dronepreneur Academy, you will have access to that recording. So the first step or the first strategy is to define your vision and your mission clearly. So this is a very important for a business because it helps you to communicate to other people what it is that your business does and what is the larger mission and vision of your organization. For example, you're a photographer, you want to start offering up aerial wedding photography. That's great. The drone is a tool for that. Absolutely. It is 100% the tool. But what is the larger vision? What is the larger mission that you want to provide these services for brides, for grooms who want to have a memorable wedding day? You want to provide inspection services for construction companies. What is the larger vision and mission? You're trying to help them operate more efficiently. You're trying to help them save money, save time, etc. Making sure that you're very clear on what the vision and mission is of your company. And then you can use a tool like ChatGPT to actually help you come up with that vision statement. You can put in there and say, I'm starting up a drone company. These are the services I'm going to offer. Help me write up a vision and mission statement that aligns with my goals or my values, okay? So you can certainly use a tool like ChatGPT to help you come up with something like that. The vision and mission should really align with what your business goals are. So if your vision and mission are completely separate from what your business goals are, that's really going to help you see some of that disconnect that you might have, that maybe you're thinking through some of these things in your head, but it's not really thought out very clearly. So getting these things out on a piece of paper is really going to help you think through the vision, the mission, and does it align to the goals of the business. Strategy number two is to conduct thorough market research. There is not a really good one stop shop that really identifies all of the different opportunities within the drone industry, where the growth is going to be in that drone industry. There's projections and people that are saying this is where we think it's going to go, but there is no definitive sort of answer. We just don't know. We haven't gotten that far in this industry yet. So what you can do is you can look around online, you can find other we'll talk a little bit about looking at your competitors, but you can see what your competitors are doing. What is it that people are asking for? What does the market look like in your geographic area that you're going to be serving? So start looking at things like look at job postings on Indeed, on LinkedIn, and seeing what other people are doing. And from all of these different places, you can put together your story of this is what the drone industry looks like in my geographic area that I am serving. So whether you're doing aerial mapping and surveying, whether you're doing real estate photography, you're doing wedding videography, whatever service it is that you are offering in your neck of the woods, you want to really put together that story, and you can get that information. Work with your local chamber of commerce, see if they've got any information. You can get online and like I said, again, look on LinkedIn, look on Indeed, see what kinds of industries and area people that might need your services in your geographic area. So really use those data points to start forming that story of this is what the market looks like right now in this geographic area. You can start identifying who some of your target customers are as well. So again, if you're offering up real estate photography, there might be some really big real estate brokers in your area. There might be, some sort of real estate convention that happens in your area. Think about the who your target customers are and really come up with that ideal customer avatar. Come up with that one person. Talk about who he or she is. It might even be somebody that's your ideal customer, and that is the person that you're trying to sell to. So you can start identifying who those target customers are. And then also you want to start analyzing your competitors. Get online, see who your competitors are, what kind of services are they offering, and figure out what makes you different from them. What is your unique selling proposition? What is your competitive edge of something that makes you just a little bit different from them that people might choose you over your competitors? So start looking at who your competitors are as well. And then strategy number 3 is to come up with your operational plan. So what are the things that you're going to need? Are you going to need drones? Are you going to need computers? Are you going to need staff? What kinds of things are you going to need to conduct daily business operations, your day-to-day operations? Do you need software? Do you need video editing software? What kind of technology do you need? All of those day-to-day operations of your business. All right. And then start thinking through things like, how are you going to market your business? What kind of software do you need to market your business? Do you need to get a website? Start thinking through again all of those, just the day-to-day logistics of how are you going to get in front of people? How are you going to conduct business? When somebody says to you, I want to hire you, that's great. How are you going to accept payments from them? How are you going to get them a receipt? Are you going to invoice them? Think through all of that stuff. The best way to do that, sit down with a notebook, write it out on a piece of paper. Somebody says, hey, I would like to hire you to do this job. Great. What happens next? What happens next? What happens next? And start identifying that workflow. And then you can figure out what kinds of things you need, what kinds of things you already have, and where do you need to start filling some of those things in. And then you also want to start thinking about what is the future growth and scalability of your business. So if you're starting this up as something that you wanted to have as a side gig and you eventually want it to become your full-time gig, is it going to stay just you running the company? Or in order for you to hit your revenue targets, do you need to have a team? Do you need to have more and more people? Do you need to bring on more and more drone pilots? What kinds of things are you going to need to be able to scale the operation? So start thinking about that, because what you want to do is as you're building up your business, as you're starting your business, you want to start with that end. And it's not really the end, but start with that end in mind of thinking about how do you scale that business. Okay. And strategy number 4 is to develop your financial model. So think about things like, what are your revenue streams? So are you going to have just one revenue stream? Or are you going to have multiple revenue streams? Are they going to be services? Are you going to offer products? Are you going to offer memberships? How is it that you're going to generate revenue in your company? And then come up with some realistic financial projections. When you're just getting started out, some of this is just throwing it into the air and see what sticks, but you can come up with some of those financial forecasts of saying, okay, I think with this number of customers at this price point, I can generate this much revenue in this amount of time. And if you have got a revenue target that doesn't align with, as you start reverse engineering that and bringing that down, saying, okay, at this price point, I would need to have this number of customers. Is that realistic? Is that really a realistic target, financial target for your company? So you can start thinking through, where do you want to go long term? And then reverse engineer that to think, how am I going to actually get to that revenue target? Okay. And then figure out how you're going to manage those finances. Many people start with a Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet, or whatever it may be. What kind of software are you going to need longer term to manage the finances of your organization? And then how are you going to manage that cash flow? How are you going to handle that money coming in? How are you going to make sure that bills are getting paid? That if you've got contractors or employees, how are you going to manage that they're getting paid, et cetera? Okay. And strategy number 5 is to emphasize your unique selling proposition. So once you've done some of the work that I will show you here in the business plan template that's available in the Dronepreneur Academy, you will have gone through a lot of different exercises to help you figure out what is your unique selling proposition, what makes your business unique. There might be a lot of people out there offering real estate photography. What makes you different? What is that thing that makes you different that you can use in your marketing and your brand positioning to help people decide that they want to work with you versus somebody else? Okay. And then when you're thinking about your unique selling proposition or your USP, how is that going to evolve over time so that you can stay competitive? Again, we might not necessarily know exactly where the industry is going, but you might have some sort of insight. What are the things that people are asking for? What are the questions that people are asking for? Where's the technology going? And you can start thinking about, in the future, This is what I would like our USP to be. This is what I want us to start working towards. So if you think about something like Netflix, they started out what they wanted to be was a streaming service, a movie streaming service, but that technology wasn't available yet. So what they did is they were mailing out DVDs in the mail, but their longer term vision was to become a streaming service, and they had to wait for that technology to be developed. So think about that with your drone business as well, or your drone services. Think about that is that as the industry evolves, how might you evolve your USP? And again, you might not know exactly what that is, but you can start just putting together some bullet points for that to just keep you thinking about that. So those are the key strategies for putting together your business plan. Strategy number one is to define your vision and mission very clearly. Strategy two is to conduct thorough market research. Strategy number three is to detail your operational plan. Strategy four is to develop a strong financial model. Strategy five is to emphasize your unique selling proposition. Those are the five strategies that I wanted to go over with you today. So we are going to hop off into the Dronepreneur Academy now. And I'm going to show you a template that I've put together that will help you organize your thoughts, organize your ideas, and get this out on a piece of paper so that you can clearly articulate to other people what it is that your drone business does.